What's up? It's Jake. I just wanted to make a little note to Browns fans. Obviously, I'm a Steelers guy, I'm a Pittsburgh guy in general, but I just wanted to make a little note to Browns fans to say that I'm really, really excited for you. As a Steeler fan, I've never been a Browns hater. I've never been a Ravens hater. I love a good rivalry. I love it when two teams have respect for each other and both teams bring out the best of the other. The Steelers used to have that with the Browns when I was growing up, and I miss that. A lot of my friends are Browns fans, and I've always been, supportive of the Browns. I don't follow them as closely as I follow the Steelers, but if the Steelers aren't playing the Browns, then I'm rooting for the Browns to win. I think it's exciting right now because it seems like they've finally turned a corner. They're making all the right moves this offseason. They've signed a couple guys. They've traded for a couple of guys. It seems like they have all the pieces in place following an 0-16 season to finally be competitive. And it's not surprising to me that they're going to be competitive this year. I think they were very close to being there last year. 0-16 is not indicative of the team that was put on the field. I remember watching opening day last year, the Steelers and the Browns almost beat the Steelers. And I was impressed. The Browns played really well. They had a decent defense. They have a great offensive line. It seemed like they had some pieces there. And obviously Josh Gordon's a stud, and they have Joe Thomas, and they've got some real talent on that team, and they've got some young guys that just need a little bit more sort of growth to get to that level. But they're not an 0-16 team. That was a very deceiving sort of record that they had. So I've been talking for a whole year with friends of mine about the Browns, thinking that they're close. And all last season, it was just so weird that they just never won a game because they weren't that bad. So this year they decided to make some waves. They haven't been quiet in the off season at all, and there's a lot of buzz going on. And on top of all of that, they have the number 1 pick in the draft, and they have the number 4 pick in the draft this year. So 2 of the top 4 picks are Browns picks. That's crazy. Any team that has 2 top 4 picks has the potential to alter the course of their franchise. And some people, myself included, have floated the idea of, maybe they use one of the picks, but then the other pick, maybe they trade down for, more picks. At this point, though, when they've made these moves and they've shown that they're trying to put the best product on the field that they can. They've bolstered the wide receiver core with Landry. They got a cornerback. For some reason, his name is eluding me right now. But the point is, they've made a few moves that, at this point, the team they have, I think you use those 2, number 1 and number 4 draft picks. I think you use those clearly to grab a franchise quarterback, and I think you got to take Barkley. I know there are some Browns fans that are up in arms saying, please don't use the number 1 pick on a running back. But why not? When you have 2 of the top 4 picks, even if you use number 1 to pick Barkley, just to make sure you get him, that still leaves a huge crop of, this is one of the best quarterback draft classes on paper. Obviously, time will tell what these guys pan out to be, but you've got Allen, you've got Rosen, you've got Darnold, you've got Mayfield. I know there's a couple more that I'm forgetting. The point is, having a number 4 pick, even if they didn't have the number 1 pick, the number 4 pick would still guarantee you one of the top 4 picks or one of the top 4 quarterbacks available. And even however you rank the quarterbacks that are available this year, whoever you picked as your 4th best guy is still pretty dang good. Probably better than any other quarterback that the Browns have drafted since they've been back as a franchise. I mean, can you really even say that Tim Couch was a better, prospect in his draft class than any one of 5 different quarterbacks this year? So if they take Barkley with the number 1 pick, that leaves 2 picks between them and getting a quarterback. So say they put, I don't know what their draft board is, but say they put, Rosen and Darnold as their top 2, those are the desirable quarterbacks they really, really want. Well, if they go 2 and 3, you still have Allen and Mayfield, and you know what I mean? Like, there's still options. And any one of those guys could turn out to be the next big thing. Especially if you draft him onto this Browns team. Drafting a guy onto this Browns team is not the same as drafting a quarterback in years past where you've basically been throwing him to the wolves. This year, they would be drafting a quarterback into a situation where the team is ready to support that quarterback and ready to win. And I'm excited about that. I really can't wait to see how they do. I would prefer if they don't beat the Steelers, but I would be totally fine if they made the playoffs. I would be fine if they won the AFC North. I would be ecstatic to see them go to the Super Bowl. I'm not saying they're going to go to the Super Bowl. I'm not predicting that. But imagine the fire in the city of Cleveland if they take that team from an 0-16 season to the pinnacle of the sport. Imagine that. It would be phenomenal. It would be okay. So when the Cavaliers won the championship, they had a huge parade. It was absolute pandemonium in Cleveland, and everyone was stoked about it. But if you think for 1 second that city wouldn't be 10 times as electric if the Browns won the Super Bowl, whew, I mean, I don't know. The parade would probably stretch to Akron. Like, it's insane how big that would be for for Cleveland, for the Browns fans, for the Browns players, for the league. And then outside of football, it would be huge for the state of Ohio. Other than Ohio State, there's not a whole lot to be like losing your mind over, you know what I mean? So I'm so excited to see what the Browns are going to do. And maybe they won't win the Super Bowl. Maybe they won't make the playoffs. I don't know. But I can guarantee you they're going to be better than 0-16. And I can guarantee you that they're going to be a force to be reckoned with for years to come based on the things that they've done in this offseason and what I think they're going to do in the draft. Yes, there's a possibility that they could fumble the draft somehow. I don't see that happening. I see them taking a quarterback either first or fourth, and I really see them taking Barkley. And imagine their offense if they have a franchise QB, Barkley as their running back who could catch passes. I mean, he could be a Le'Veon Bell type running back. Josh Gordon, who is one of the best receivers in the game. And now they have Jarvis Landry, and they've built a lot of other positions up. And I think they really have a dynamic offense, and they've always had a pretty good defense. So I think this could be a big time for the Cleveland Browns and their fans. And I just wanted to give a shout out to the Browns. Kudos on actually, getting it together. It feels different than it's felt in years past. It doesn't feel like, maybe they're sort of taking a stab at doing something. It feels like they're pushing their chips to the middle of the table and saying, what do you got? And that's an exciting feeling, and I'm stoked for the Browns, and I'm stoked for the fans. So as a Pittsburgh Steeler fan, as a Pittsburgh guy, hooray for the Browns. I'm really stoked. I hope that it's a competitive year for you, and I hope that the Steelers and the Browns can renew that rivalry that was so vital when I was a kid. I would love to see that sort of good-natured, sort of hard-nosed play between the two teams again, and I just can't wait to see the smiles on Browns faces and Browns fans' faces when they see their team finally being the team that they've always dreamt of having. I've watched way too many heartbroken faces from Browns fans over the years, and I'm really stoked for all my friends who are Browns fans to be able to have this moment. So I hope I'm right. I hope all these good things happen. I hope the Browns are awesome, and I look forward to it. So anyway, stay positive, hang loose.